Hey, I'm Ekna. Welcome to the space. Today we're going to be talking about dating, and I love this topic. All my friends know I'm their go-to person to talk about relationships. Like, yes, they come to me, they complain about their relationships, and they walk away feeling amazing. So they always ask me why I don't share more of what I know online. So here is my opening into playing in this field more. So I'm here, I'm sharing, and we're gonna get into this video now. Hey ladies, this one's for you. Yes, you 100% wanna show up as yourself, but there are things that you can do that you can keep in mind to stay open and to bring in to a room a specific kind of energy so that you can get the most out of your date. It's not for the other person, but you do wanna consider that when you do show up to a date, you're exchanging energy. So essentially, you're thinking about you and you're doing it for you first, but in that is a giving attitude towards the other person so that you can then receive more and go back into a cycle. And that is truly the depths of what it is to exchange energy with someone. You never want to book the reservation, get the door, or the bill. These are three things that go hand in hand, and it all comes from a larger energetic space of leading. You want to be the one to relax. You can be a boss in every other area in your life, and you are still being a boss by letting him take the lead. It doesn't make you any less. It doesn't bring you down. It doesn't bring you below him for you to just say, baby, let me know when you want to meet up. Let me know where you want to go. Just wait. All you have to do is be patient, wait, and he will come to you and be like, baby, be ready by 8 p.m. I'm gonna take you here, or I'm taking you out. Most guys will show up in this way if you offer a little patience. And when you do offer that patience, you'll realize that you've opened yourself to an energetic where you can stay fully surrendered throughout the night. Because wherever you start, the foundations are probably the most important part of how you want to show up in anything in life. And dating is no different. Wherever the night takes you, it doesn't matter now because your energetics is open. You're gonna feel a lot more relaxed, a lot more surrendered. You're not gonna feel like you need to be in your head. You're gonna sink into your body. And that's where the feminine lives. Okay, so masculine, feminine energetics is very important. It doesn't matter if you've got like your life nailed down and you're this independent boss babe. That's all good, but you don't wanna bring that to the date. You want to leave it in your life. You want to leave it in your workspace. You want to leave it in motherhood. And you want to leave it in whatever it is that you want to leave it into. Your projects, your daily life, your grocery shopping, like it doesn't matter. But what you want to do is when you do show up to that date, you are just going to flow, baby. You're like water. You're like the ocean. You're going to bring that to him and to yourself. When you get the door, you are leading. When you tell him what to do, you are leading. Okay, and when you get the bill, you're leading. And I know this one could be a trigger to most people. If you really show up to an embodied date, you don't want to get the bill. Now, I'm all about a woman feeling equal to a man, but here's the thing, like when we really go into it, you will never be equal to him. He's a man. Like if you try to do a strength competition, you are gonna fail. You're not gonna win him. And if you had to get a man to open his heart the same way a woman opens her heart, he will fail you. If you had to get a man to go through pregnancy and birth, he will fail you. And try to create that tension within yourself. Think of it as a growth in your body. Like the more that you show up to a date with the energetic that you try to compete with a man, the energetic of trying to be independent and get things for yourself because there's a collective trauma that we go through as women, and of course no shit that you would want to build your life up on this independence when you've spent your whole life maybe look at your mom, looking at your dad, looking at yourself and feeling like you are weak. But to be honest, it is not weak to wait an extra 5 minutes in the car for him to walk around and get the door for you. If you wait and create that tension, you won't be pissed off. You won't go around being like there are no good men on this planet because you allow yourself that patience. Most of the time, we don't allow ourselves patience, and then we wonder, where are all the good men? Like, the guys that, they never open the doors for me. Like, that is a huge thing. Like, a lot of women just end up saying and jumping to conclusion, really complaining that there are no good men on the earth, but they don't give men a chance. You don't give your man that you are willing to share your energy with on this date a chance. If you wait in the car a little longer, if you walk a little slower, if you flirt with him on the way to the door and don't reach your hand out for that door, sit and wait in the car, don't get out, watch what's gonna happen. If he walks away from the door, he's gonna walk back and open the door so that you can get out of the door. And if he's like, what are you doing? Like he comes in and he just doesn't understand, that's when you can guide him. Because your role is to guide a man, it's never to lead him. And the way that you can guide him is that you want to be playful with it, you want to be fun with it, you want to sit in the car and say, I've been waiting for you to come and get me. And you can use that as an empowerment. You don't have to use the energetics of competing with him as empowerment, because that'll never work and it's not fun. The same with getting the bill. Be a little patient, let him lead. You don't have to reach for your purse. You don't have to prove anything. You can let him take the lead, okay? Okay, so next. Okay, so on this idea of there are no good men on this planet, that is the way that you're showing up to a date every single time you show up to a date. At the back of your mind, you have this, I am better than a man. I can do more than a man. My body is capable of more than a man. If I show up to this date, what's he gonna offer me anyway? There's a lot of this self-talk going on within women and within the energetics of how women currently show up. And it's very depressing to see, because masculine, feminine polarity between the two of us, we cannot survive in this world without each other. We are complementing each other. We're better in unity. I believe that there's so much more that I can do than my husband. That's 100% true. But there's also so much more that he can do that I want him to do, because I feel supported and safe when a man shows up for me in the way that I desire for him to show up for me. Stop trying to pick his brain. Like, when you're on that date, just enjoy yourself. Don't emasculate him. Don't make him feel like he is smaller than you. Make him feel like he's a king. Actually see him as a king. You want to go out with a man who is a king. You don't want to go out with someone who is not a king. So there's no checklist, there's no checkpoints. You want to really get rid of that from your mind. Like I said, it's from the body. Everything for a female and for the woman starts in audible voice tonality. Your tone is very important. You can talk about anything. It doesn't matter what you talk about. You can talk about a glass, and you can have the same depth as talking about stars in the universe and the cosmos. But it's the way that you approach that conversation. It's the way your tone is. Okay, sometimes if you have this like tone that's very forceful or very mother-like or very controlling, it will not turn him on, and it won't turn you on. Because at the end of the day, like I spoke about at the beginning of this video, this is about how you want to walk away feeling like a goddess. If you want to walk away feeling like a goddess, in that exchange, that give and take relationship, the relating energetics that you're having right now is give and take. You want to be able to come in with open voice and open tone. So I always use the word open. What I mean by that is you want to soften your tone. Like, this is for you as much as it is for him, right? I keep repeating this because I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea, like we have to show up in a specific way for men, to impress men, because that is not what we're doing. But we're going away, we're walking away from this with an experience that we want to have in our bodies and in our minds and in our souls in a way that we have never had before. We want to never do these things on dates so that we can actually expand, actually have experiences that we always dream of having, or that we believe don't even exist. It's this idea that we've given ourselves that, like, you know, these dates only exist in movies or in stories or in our vision. But if it's there in your vision, babe, it already exists. okay? It exists. All you have to do is create it into reality. And tonality will help you get there. If you have even a slight control in your voice, a man does not want to feel like he's having dinner with his mother. He wants to feel like he's having dinner with a lover. He wants to feel like this woman is able to give him something that no one else can. And to be honest, he just wants to share and embrace your energy in a way that is more in focus of you. A conscious man is there for your pleasure. He's there to open you. He's there to watch you in eye-rolling pleasure, okay? Even if that's like eating a dessert or the way that he treats you in bed. It doesn't matter. His goal is he wants to see you in pleasure. The way that you shut that down is by emasculating him. And the way that emasculation happens is in tone. And it can happen in other things, but this is the thing that will pierce a man the most in his heart. So always check your tone on a date. It's very important. Soften your voice, soften your energetics. Go back to the body where you need to open your body, and remember that the way that you talk to him and your tone determines everything, okay? Vulnerability is sexy. I want to share a story about when I was dating my husband and how when we went on our, we didn't really do dates, like conscious date nights, but I would go and see him. So they were dates, but it would be like maybe at a cafe or maybe at his place. You know, it would really depend. But there was this one day where I showed up to Starbucks, coming into I think maybe it was like a coffee shop or something. I remember showing up to the date or to opening, I opened the door and I just started I didn't even go in to give him a hug. I didn't even acknowledge him, but I just went in with this I need to go. I was like, I'm boiling, I'm overheating, I just need a minute, I need to go. And I had a switch. And of course, this does depend on how the man holds you too. If a man is insecure and he's unable to hold your emotion, he probably will act scared and will show up scared. And that's when you know that, you maybe need to have a conversation or ask him to show up differently, because that is always a possibility too. In vulnerability, there's always that space of ask. You can always communicate and ask, but this is a part of being vulnerable. So in that moment, my man, I'm so grateful that he came to me and he opened me up and he hugs me. And he didn't care what I was doing, but he was just like, come and give me a hug. He asked me to give him a hug. And in that moment, I had a choice. It's I'm really, really hot. I need a minute to cool down first before I can come to you, or I need to go and feel better before I can come to you. And yes, in capacities and let's say you're having a fight, different contexts, really depends, but let's say you're having a very heated moment in a different way, maybe emotionally, that is a time where you do want to separate. Because in a situation like this, when it's really just anxiety and when it's really just you need him to hold you or you want him to hold you, all you have to do is open up to that. All you have to do is be willing enough to open your body and open yourself and open your heart to him. So vulnerability is so sexy. Men love to hold a woman's emotions, to hold a woman's highs and lows. Men love it, and women love it, okay? So in that moment, I went in for that hug, and I felt peace. I felt my world was at peace, and everything was at peace. And it's because I opened myself to him, and I opened myself to be seen, and I realized there was a space where I was definitely taking from him, and because he was giving that to me. So I can definitely take, but it wasn't me trying to fill up on him. What I really took from him was being seen and appreciated and heard in my vulnerability. And then he brought some ice and put it on my wrists and put it on my neck, and I felt so much better. And then we sat down, had some coffee. We were able to relax, talk, connect, laugh, and we had a great time. Never look at your phone, look at the floor, look around the room. Your eyes are wandering. A man who is very embodied in himself is going to fuck you with his eyes. You want to go there. You want to go to the depths of looking into his eyes, of guiding him to look into your eyes. connecting through eyes, flirting through eyes. You play in the space with no words. Try not to even connect with words. Try to connect in motion and energy, in what's going on between the eyes. Okay, like how is his soul? How is your soul? How do you respond to each other's energy? Be in the space where there are no words, that you don't have to exchange words and views and thoughts. Let yourself enjoy through connection of energy with your eyes, because those eyes is a communication. Those eyes will show you something that the words can't. The eyes will show you something that you won't be able to understand through just communicating verbally. You could go on a date with someone who doesn't speak English. You know, if you're an English speaker, you could go on a date with someone who doesn't speak English and connect to them and have a great time and be able to communicate with them through your eyes. So this is very, very big. I want to end on that. It's all in the eyes, baby. It's all in the eyes, baby. So let me know what else you want to hear on the topic of dating, relating energetics, whether it's, you know, catering to those in relationships or single women. I really want to hear your thoughts, and I really want to hear what you're interested in. Thank you for being here, ladies. I will see you in my next video.